start our first practical in fluid mechanics lab. The name of the experiment is Reynolds number experiment. Okay. This topic we already covered in our theory classes. So we all know what is the use of Reynolds number. Okay. So what is the use of Reynolds number? Reynolds number is used for to verify the flow whether it is laminar, transition or turbulent. Okay. We all know if we will consider one pipeline and we will have some flow on it, so obviously there is something fluctuation of flow on the particular pipeline. Okay, means if we will have one pipeline, so if we will have one constant flow, so in that case our all the particles of the fluid moving in straight line, but at the same time we have to maintain the velocity of flow also. Okay, if velocity of flow is more, in that case our all the particles move in a zigzag way, means in that case if all the particles of the fluid moving is not parallel to the each other, means there is something zigzag flow of the fluid flow from the particular pipeline. Okay, so in this case we have one simple experiment. So this is called as Reynolds number experiment. So with the help of this practical we can clarify or we can divide the flow flowing through the pipeline, whether it is laminar, whether it is turbulent or whether it is transition. Okay, in our theoretical classes already we derived one formula for the Reynolds number. That formula is Reynolds number is equal to rho v d, or we can take L here divided by mu. Okay, rho v d divided by L. Okay, what do you mean by rho? Rho means the mass density of the fluid which is flowing through the pipeline. Okay, v means what? V means the velocity of flow. How much quantity of velocity flowing through the pipeline? That velocity we have to calculate initially with the help of this experiment. Okay, now what do you mean by L? L means what? L nothing but the diameter. Okay, in theoretical classes already we discussed that. What do you mean by L and what do you mean by D? Okay, if we have something called pipe, okay, so in that case this D means the diameter of the pipeline. Okay, means this L you can consider as the diameter of the pipeline. Okay, or if we have something called pier, it is supported, it is used for supporting the bridge. Okay, and moving just in direction of the pier. In that case we can take the L nothing but the diameter of the pier. Okay, but if we have some flow which is moving left to the right, and here we have something called obstacle, we have something stone, okay, we have something called barrier, we have something called tree. So in that case the maximum length of the particular obstacle, that we will consider as a L here, that we will consider as a diameter here. Okay, so here rho means the mass density of the fluid, v means the velocity flowing through the pipeline, also discharge flowing through the pipeline. Okay, L means nothing but the diameter or any length of the obstacle, and mu, we all know what we mean by mu. Mu means the coefficient of viscosity. Okay, that value is constant and that value is already given in the experiment. Okay, so this is the Reynolds number formula, rho v L or D divided by mu. Okay, if we again solve this formula, so this is v L divided by mu divided by this mass density rho. Okay, means we have another one new formula here. Reynolds number RE is equal to v multiplied by L mu divided by mass density. Means what? It is a ratio of coefficient of viscosity to the mass density, that is called as kinematic viscosity. Okay, that is called as mu. Okay, so this value is again constant and this is given in the experiment. Okay, so either we will use this formula for calculating Reynolds number or we can use this formula for Reynolds number. Okay, now once we know the value of Reynolds number with the help of any experiment, in that case we can clarify the flow between laminar, turbulent or transition. Okay, so after the calculation of Reynolds number, we have some constant value. So if Reynolds number is less than 2000, that flow is called as laminar flow. That flow called as laminar flow. Okay, and if any Reynolds number is greater than 4000, that flow we can consider as a turbulent flow. That is called as turbulent flow. Okay, and if the Reynolds number in between 2000 and 4000, that is called as transition flow. That is called as transition flow. Okay. So this Reynolds number we can calculate with the help of this derived formula or with the help of this experimental setup. Okay. And this Reynolds number is exactly equal to the experimental Reynolds number, and then we can correlate the value of this transition flow, laminar flow and turbulent flow. So this is the diagram of our experimental setup. This is called as Reynolds number experiment. Okay. So initially, obviously, we required one sum tank because we have to maintain the constant flow to the pipe. Okay. So obviously, if we have to transfer the flow from one point to another point, means if we have to transfer the water from any water treatment plant to the any needy area, so we require some pipeline. Okay. So for that pipeline, we have to maintain this type of flow, laminar, turbulent and transition. Okay. So initially, we required one main source of the water. Okay. So initially, in this practical, we have that source that is called as sump tank. Okay. Means we have some water present in the sump tank. So with the help of this sump tank, okay. Now after that we have a centrifugal pump here. Okay. What is the use of centrifugal pump here? To transfer the water from this sump tank to the supply tank. Okay. What is the use of centrifugal pump? Centrifugal pump is used for transferring the water from sump tank to the supply tank. Okay. Now this is our supply tank. In this supply tank, we have one pipe here for maintaining the constant flow. For example, just like here, we have one pipe, okay, and here we have one something piezometer. Okay, we have one simple glass tube here. Okay, so if we have something water level up to this, okay, so we can maintain the constant flow from this total pipeline. Okay, means again here we have something flow control wall. Okay, if we will close this wall, okay, and constant flow from some tank to supply tank is going on. Okay, so in that case this water level rises and water try to move or try to spread from some supply tank. Okay, means वो पानी ऊपर से जाने की कोशिश करेगा. For maintaining that flow, we have one flow control wall here. Okay, and easily we can see the rise of water level on the piezometer on the supply tank. Okay, now again I am repeating same process. This is our sump tank. This is our centrifugal pump. Centrifugal pump is used to transfer the water from supply tank, sump tank to supply tank. Okay, and supply tank is used for transferring the constant rate of water to the pipe. Okay, so this is our one transparent pipe. Why we need here one transparent pipe? Because we have to see the flow of water, flow of this dye, flow of this color from the pipe. Okay, that's why here we have one transparent pipe. Okay, so here this is our dye tank. This dye tank is connected with our supply tank. Okay, means in this case we have something water. This is our water. Okay, and here we have one dye. So in this case the specific gravity of water and the specific gravity of dye, that exactly equal. Why? Because if we be passing some dye here, so if specific gravity of dye is more as compared to water, so obviously that dye easily moving in downward direction by gravity, because its weight is more as compared to water. Okay, and for example, instead of vertical pipe, if we will take one horizontal pipe here and the dye specific gravity is more as compared to water, so in that case this dye easily settle down at the bottom of the pipe. Why? Because of the same reason, because in this case dye specific gravity is more as compared to water, that's why by gravity it is settled down at the bottom of the pipe. Okay, that's why specific gravity of water is exactly equal to specific gravity of dye here. Okay, dye means one color. So for performance we have to maintain the constant flow in supply tank. After maintaining the constant flow, what do you mean by constant flow? For example, if we can see some air bubble here, so we have to remove that air bubble with the help of this flow control valve. Okay, if we have some air bubble, so obviously there is a no constant flow flowing from the pipe. Okay, so for maintaining constant flow, we have this flow control valve. Okay, just open this valve. Whatever the air bubble we have in the pipe, we can remove it. Okay, after that close this valve. Okay, now for performance, here this is our dye tank, and this dye tank consists of one small needle here. Okay, and with the help of that needle, we can transfer the dye to the transparent pipe. So if velocity of the flow is constant or minimum, in that case, this dye color moving on straight line. Okay, moving on straight line. Clear? Then if the velocity of flow is more, so in that case, this dye moving just like this, exactly. Okay. During performance, we will observe these all things. Okay. So this is our transparent pipe, which is used for just watching the flow is laminar, turbulent, or transition. Okay. So this is our sump tank. This is our regulatory valve. This is our transparent pipe. This is our supply tank. Consists of one piezometer. Okay. And this is our dye tank. Okay. So now we will see the actual experimental setup of Reynolds number. So here we will start from the bottom, means from sump of the tank, from source of the tank. Okay. So this is our source. Here we have some water already present in the tank. Okay. After that, we have to use this water for the performance purpose. For that, we have to rise the water on supply tank. Okay. So here we can have one pump here. There are again different types of pumps we have in market. So this is our centrifugal pump. Again, we have some detailed topic. What are the different types of pump we use in our daily life, in our fluid mechanics. Okay. So that topic we have in our fluid mechanics 2 in our 6th semester. Okay. So just remember, this is our centrifugal pump, which is useful to transfer the water from sump tank to supply tank. Okay. Now, this is our supply tank. Okay. And in this supply tank, at the center, we have one constant head pipe. Okay. Just we will see the center. There is a one constant head pipe, and you can observe the level of water and height of that head of pipe. Okay. If we will see, so here we can observe the level of water is exactly equal to the height of that particular pipe. Okay. Now, so this is our supply tank. Supply tank consists of one piezometer for keeping the rise of water on the supply tank with the help of that centrifugal pump flow. Okay. Now, this is our one transparent pipe. I already maintained the flow in a very slow speed. That's why here we can see the laminar layer. Okay. This all the fluid, all the dye element moving in a single path. Okay. For that, I already maintained the supply control valve. Okay, flow control valve. Okay, so this is our sump tank, this is our centrifugal pump, this is our supply tank, this is our piezometer, and this is our dye tank. Okay, this dye tank consists of again one valve for maintaining the flow of dye. This is just simple needle which is used for saline purpose. Okay, and here at the center of the pipe we have one nozzle. Okay, for maintaining the flow we have this ball here. After that, this is our regulatory valve for maintaining the speed of flow. Okay, so here Reynolds number is totally depend on mass density of the fluid. This is known to us. Obviously this is water. So mass density is 1000 kg per meter cube, or weight density is 9810 Newton per meter cube. Okay, so it is already known to us. Now rho v, obviously this Reynolds number is depend on velocity. So here we have to calculate the velocity of the flow. How we can calculate velocity? Velocity हम निकाल पाएंगे with the help of discharge. Okay, what do you mean by discharge? In last numerical we solve number of numericals based on Reynolds number. Okay, so discharge is totally depend on area and velocity. Okay, so here we have to deal with the velocity. So initially we must know the value of discharge flowing to the pipeline. So for that we have one container here and we have one stopwatch. Okay, for here we have one outlet pipe. Here we have one outlet pipe. Okay, for measuring the rate of flow, we have to collect the water something at for 1 liter. Okay, we have to collect the water for 1 liter. Okay, at the same time we have to measure the time for taking this 1 liter water. Okay, means we have quantity of water, that is 1 liter, and at the same time we have time required to collect the 1 liter water. Okay, so that liter easily we can convert in terms of meter cube. Okay, in 1 meter cube we have thousands of liter water, so easily we can calculate the discharge flowing to the pipeline. Okay, so once we know the value of discharge flowing to the pipeline, easily we can calculate velocity, because diameter of pipe is known to us. Okay, that is 25 mm. 25 mm. Okay, so with the help of diameter we can calculate the area, and discharge Q is equal to area multiplied by velocity. So area is known to us because diameter value we have, so velocity is equal to Q divided by area. Okay, so again Reynolds number is equal to rho, mass density is known to us, velocity we can calculate with the help of this process. Okay, now L means again diameter, because we are using here pipe and diameter is known to us 25 mm, we can convert in terms of meter. After that divided by mu. So coefficient of viscosity value is given on our manual. Okay, that value we can take for the calculation. Now I set some constant flow which is supplying from this supply tank, and I already maintained the flow of water with the help of regulator valve also. Okay, so here with the help of this transparent pipe we can see the his die moving in a straight line. Means for this flow we can say that our flow is laminar, because all the die elements moving in a straight line. Okay, so for this step we have to measure the same process. We have to collect the water for 1 liter, and at the same time we have to measure the time required for collecting the water. Okay, so again after some time, if we will increase the velocity of flow, so obviously this die element fluid moving in zigzagly. Okay, or that die will mix with the water. Obviously if it mix with the water, so it will moving in zigzagly. Okay, so this is our measurable one jack, and this is our stopwatch. Okay, now in transparent pipes we can see the total from starting point up to ending point. Okay, we have one laminar flow, so for this we can measure the discharge. So this is our stopwatch 0. Now I will start the stopwatch. $800, $900, and lastly this is 1000. Stop. So for collecting 1 liter we required 43 seconds for taking the 1000 milliliter water, means 1 liter water. Okay, so now here I just slightly increase the flow. So this laminar flow changes in transition flow. Okay, means just we slightly increase the velocity of the flow, So in that case we have something just like this flow. Okay, so again for this flow we have to measure the 1 liter of water and we have to measure the time for that. Okay, after that we have to see the turbulent flow. So here we have to open the wall. So here we can see the velocity of water is more. So in this case the dye moving in zigzag way, means all the dye fluid element is mixed with the water. Okay, so this is called as turbulent flow. Again I increase the velocity of flow. So again at the starting point it will mix with the water. Just observe this. Again I increase the velocity. Now here we can see the turbulent flow. From starting point, total dye mixed with the water. Okay, means we can say that this is our turbulent flow. So for this turbulent flow, again we have to measure the water. Now again we will take one reading for this. So for taking 1 liter of water, we just required 6 seconds. And for laminar flow condition, we have something time is 43 seconds. Okay. So obviously, if we have time is more, so in that case, that flow is again we can correlate with the laminar flow, because in that case, if we have time is maximum, so obviously in that case velocity is minimum. Okay, and if you require time is less, so in that case velocity of water is more. So with the help of this given information we can calculate the velocity of flow. So now we have two readings. First one for laminar. For 1 liter of water we required 43 seconds, and for turbulent flow we required only 6 seconds. Okay, so with the help of these readings we can calculate the Reynolds number, because diameter of this transparent pipe is known to us, that is 25 mm. Viscosity is known to us, mass density is known to us, so easily we can calculate the Reynolds number. Okay. Now whatever the calculation part we will see in a practical class. Thank you.